The iron hall echoed with the sound of marching boots and the quiet rustle of cloaks. Smoke filled the air from iron torches, and the throne room, once full of glory now, showed the damage of war and time. Faded tapestries of old heroes and fallen kings hung on the walls like reminders of a proud past. On the throne, made from the swords of defeated enemies, sat King Robert, once the kingdom's greatest hope. Robert of House Sabina, crowned in blood and fire, had once been a hero. His name was sung in taverns, whispered by mothers to their children, and prayed for by soldiers in war. He had risen quickly during the war for Stonewall Kingdom. A brilliant political strategist, he beat the Southern Confederacy and broke the siege of Eldergate, with a move that even his enemies later studied. For a short time, Robert gave the kingdom something it rarely had: hope. Hope that was strong, brave, and alive. But hope, like steel, can rust. Time had worn down Robert's sharp mind. What was left was a man hardened by victory, surrounded by flatterers and full of fear. His charm turned to cruelty. Any disagreement was punished. His councils became full of yes-men, and his laws turned into harsh orders. The voice of the people, which he once promised to listen to, now sounded like betrayal to him. "The king sees traitors in every shadow," whispered Solomon Harwin of Enkeldoorn once, only to be found burnt down by morning. Still, Robert ruled without challenge. Not because people loved him or even feared him most, but because of the man beside him, General Constantine. General Constantine was a legend in his own right. Tough, loyal, and respected by both soldiers and nobles. While Robert had been given the crown, Constantine had earned his place, battle by battle, arrow by arrow. Many believed that if Constantine wanted it, the throne could have been his. But he was seen as a man of honor, and his loyalty to Robert kept the fragile peace alive. It may have stayed that way until Queen Grace of Brooke stepped beyond tradition. Queen Grace was not made for silence. Trained in the courts of Western Christ, clever and cold as ice, she was more than a queen by title. From the moment she married Robert, she started to notice the rot beneath the crown. Her influence spread slowly, first in the kitchens, then the treasury, and eventually into war councils. Robert, impressed by her beauty and wisdom, let her mold the kingdom like soft clay. And mold it she did. One by one, Robert's old allies were replaced. Her supporters from Brooke and beyond took key roles: Lord Commander, Minister of Trade, High Justice of the Crown. At first, Constantine said nothing, but his lips grew tight and his fists tighter. Even a stone breaks after long enough in the rain. The final break came when Grace attempted to promote her cousin, a man with no history, for the Battle of Stonewall Kingdom, to Warden of the Stonewall Gate, a position second to King and Queen. That position was already held by one of Constantine's most trusted veterans. It was a move too bold, too fast. "What is a kingdom if it forgets the blade that won it?" Constantine and his lieutenants asked Robert behind closed doors. To that, Robert, eyes weary and dulled by age, said, "It is my kingdom. I will shape it as I please." With those words, the bond that had held the crown and sword together for almost 4 decades snapped. Constantine's anger spread quickly. The king's council, once silent under Grace's growing power, now found a strong ally in the general. Nobles who had once feared Robert now whispered in dark corners. Secret meetings took place in crypts, and messages were sent by falcon and fire. The old order was rising again. And Robert, drunk and wrapped in the illusion of his own power, saw none of it. He had become a king of walls, high, strong, and alone. The turning point didn't come in the throne room, but in the blood-soaked fields near Hollow Marsh. There, a patrol led by Grace's cousin failed terribly, leaving the north border open to attack. It was Constantine's men who saved the day, but they came back with questions, not pride. Why was a battle led by someone who had never held a sword? Why did King Robert allow it? And worse, why did the Queen still control his choices? The army, once loyal to the crown, now turned toward the man who had saved them time after time, the general, not the king. In weeks, the King's Council and the army formed a secret alliance. Queen Grace, though clever, underestimated how deep the shift had gone. Robert, blinded by her words and his own pride, ignored all signs. On the night before Winter's Crest, the Stonewall throne stood in silence. By morning, it would be covered in blood. Thank you for watching. Look out for episode 2. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.